I don't know if you've seen Big Mikey, but he's a tattoo artist, and it just ends up going weird and wacky places. See, the comments are so funny.
Oh, really?
Because I don't know if you've seen his bit, but he's got 5 million views on TikTok. Like, what's the story, Mikey? Like, why are you getting these views? He says, like, all the American chicks are over there are wild for him. Just this monotone accent. They've never seen him.
It's mad, man, isn't it?
And
it's
like,
something I just downloaded, actually, TikTok, but I don't know how true it is, or people were talking about the fact that the terms and conditions in TikTok captures every single one of your keystrokes. Like,
for instance, if I upload a video and let's say, like, I put up our clip, and I've wrote the description and hashtags on Instagram, for instance, and then I go and do it on TikTok, you would copy and paste it. TikTok knows that that's pasted,
right,
and puts you down. Like, it's like, no, you're not getting the good algorithm.
Right.
They're fairly, but I mean, they're all doing it. So it's just that TikTok's went.
But even they were honest about that.
Yeah, TikTok's like, listen, we're in your ass. We live in your ass, so we know when you're going to fart before you do.
Well, that's it. Like, I heard they literally capture everything from like passwords to usernames to your fucking banking details. Yeah.
Well,
so I downloaded it.
Putin says that. He's like, listen, see, they know everything you're doing. See, if you're doing something really long, there's going to be some guys in suits that show up.
That's what I've noticed with, obviously Telegram's picking up and it's getting busier. And when we started working offshore, obviously when offshore started, or when I started offshore, it was WhatsApp. And nobody knew what WhatsApp was. It was just we were all using it offshore. And that's what I've noticed that Telegram's sort of starting to look like now. Lots of people are starting to use it, sort of filter in. And I think people are just beginning to not trust, obviously, Facebook group and WhatsApp, obviously, despite the fact that they still claim to be encrypted. But, like, they still know when you shite.
Well, I remember Snowden saying that they don't actually need your phone records because they can predict based on your behaviours, like your cookies, where you visit. They can actually, they can take the metadata and work out what you are. Then don't even actually need to see the particulars because like we can pinpoint this.
Well, they started off doing it with forensic profiling, wasn't it? And that's what it's all. Did you ever watch? Is it Mindhunter?
On rings a bell.
It was about this sort of evolution of forensic profiling, and back obviously then there was no such thing as forensic profiling, and then they started doing it, and then literally built up the profile of who that person was off the back of the crime scene, off of all the evidence they found. And it's pretty much what they do now with social media. They profile you and it's pretty accurate.
You remember you ever hear about the Five Eyes? So the whole hoo-ha with they're in for the Patriot Act in America. So regardless of which side of the fence you sit on in terms of the legitimacy of 9/11, the what came after 9/11 was the Patriot Act, and the Patriot Act was, we're going to break the Constitution because we need to find out if there's bad guys. And that they've never let that go, despite the threat level varying over the years. And it's the whole, if they create an emergency to bring in an act, they'll continue to bring in emergencies forever and a day. And in the UK, they don't, it's like that's a taboo. But because it had the Commonwealth, they've just got the 5 other countries that they essentially have got their tentacle in. And they say, right, we are not going to spy on our population. But if you spy on them and share the data, that's not us spying.
It's the same with what America and the UK do. They share all that data. Same as all these nations do, really.
And I think the Five Eyes are Australia, Canada, Germany, India, and there's another one. But it's essentially like,
I did hear the same story, but it was almost like between America and the US. It was like, no, we won't spy on you, but we'll get our friends to do it, and then we'll just share the data.
Yeah. And that's the thing is that, there's a big rabbit hole. When you tend to start to look into these things, like generally I think the best place to start is following the money. Where are they funded from and who's behind the entities of these structures? When you start to see them, it's even more of a it's even more of a leap from what you thought, because you go, this can't be who's behind this. And you're like, yeah, that's sort of what it's pointing to. And you go, it's actually even worse than what see the conspiracy theories. That's a mild version of this.
Exactly. Well, that's what they do. They put it in Hollywood movies, blockbusters, so that you think it's just movie nonsense. think, oh, if only you know the truth. Like it's so much worse than what the movies could ever portray.
Yeah.
It's
and that's the thing. Apparently, that's the whole thing. Like, you know, when they try and square, if you believe in karma and you want to square the karmic energy, the karmic energy is we feel that we're above you, and the reason that we know that we're above you is that we notified you, so we put it in all this stuff. And if you didn't notice, that's because you're dumb. And we let you know, so it's all good.